So I'm Mark Schlefstein, and I'm here with retired Coast Guard Admiral Thad Allen, and we're going to talk a little bit, Admiral, about risk and resiliency and how things are going. It's been 10 years since Hurricane Katrina. It's been 5 years since the BP oil disaster. You've had a pretty key role in both of those issues. Can you talk a little bit about where things stand in terms of resiliency for the nation in the aftermath of both of those?
Sure. I think we've come a long way. I think it's a work in progress. I think we still have a lot to go. I think the preparations for Sandy, the precautions that were taken, the leadership that was shown, I think reflected lessons learned. Regards to locally here in New Orleans, I was down in the 9th Ward yesterday, and obviously there's some places where there are houses being built, there's some vacant lots. A lot of work to be done there as well. I think in the long run, we need to start thinking as a nation more about the ecosystems we live in and how we want to protect those.
And for the BP oil spill, now you're no longer in the Coast Guard as such. Lessons learned, things that might have been able to be done better if another one comes along?
Well, obviously it was a catastrophic event for the environment. I tend to divide it into three parts. One was well control, trying to stop the oil or capture the oil before it got to shore, and then dealing with the consequences ashore. The more you do closer to the well, the more successful you're going to be in preventing impacts ashore. So capping the well was always the #1 objective. Looking back on it, I think if I did anything over again, I would have taken control of the airspace or asked the U.S. Air Force to do it, which is what I did in June, to avoid some near mid-air collisions that we had, and to improve our surveillance and our effectiveness of our deployment of our resources, things like that.
Okay. Getting back to Hurricane Katrina and hurricane responses, any changes that you would suggest for the future for the Coast Guard in terms of its ability to respond to these sorts of disasters?
Well, we always try and take lessons learned, and I'm speaking on my own experience because I don't run the Coast Guard anymore, but you like to take the lessons learned and roll them in and try and improve each time you have a subsequent response. For instance, we did a tremendous amount of air rescues in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina, but we didn't do it methodically based on a grid system to make sure if there were people out there that did not have a cell phone, we could find them. We changed that after Katrina. Those are the types of things we like to learn and improve on.
And what can businesses learn from your experiences? Are there things that either communities or businesses should be doing that they're not?
Well, I believe so. I think in terms of resiliency, it starts out with individual preparedness at an individual level, moves up to the community, local businesses, to the state, and to the federal government. At the business level, you need to be thinking about business continuity plans. And this is not just a hurricane. This can be for a cyber attack. How are you going to try and maintain the business, deal with your reputation, deal with your clients and your stakeholders, and still take care of your employees. And I think everybody's being much more thoughtful on how they do that, but the complexity of the events that we're facing is getting more severe each year.
Okay. And looking back again at Katrina, are there different methods that the federal government can use to respond in the aftermath of these disasters that may have been learned over the last 10 years?
Well, I think there are lessons learned, but technology has changed. When I was down here doing the response to Katrina, Facebook was just being dreamed up and Twitter didn't exist. I think we have the whole phenomenon of public participation through social media, and that has very, very positive impacts, but also can have negative impacts if you have the wrong information being dispersed. I think during the Boston bombing, I think it showed that social media can be a positive value added to the event itself. I think looking forward, we need to learn how to incorporate the public into it, because there's no barrier to entry. They're going to be there anyway. We have to have a discussion about that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This is Mark Schlefstein with Admiral Allen, and you're watching NOLA.com, the Times Picayune.